What's up, everybody? It's Newton Mayenge. Welcome to the league. Today's topic is on Black women filmmakers, and because of that, I just had to have my sorority sister on here. Not only is she a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, she also owns her own production company called Hillionaire Productions. Some of her recent works include The Business of Christmas, which is on BET Plus recently, and she also has an upcoming biopic on Hattie McDaniel and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to welcome my sorority sister, filmmaker Jami McCoy-Lankford. Hey, Jami, welcome to the league. How are you?
I am good, Newton. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. How have you and the family been during COVID? How's everything?
Well, thank you for having me. We have been really good, thank God. You know, none of us have caught the virus. My 77-year-old mother lives with me, so we've been very particular, about her and doing extra care with her, and so she's been healthy. And, we have just been learning to exist, in this pandemic and to make it and just taking day by day.
Absolutely. That's all we can do.
Yes.
We listen to the CDC, listen to all the professionals and take care of our loved ones. That's all we can do.
Absolutely. And just pray about it and keep going. One thing, when everything really first hit March of last year, we were actually in the middle of filming The Business of Christmas, our Christmas movie that just aired on BET this past holiday season. And we were filming it in LA. Okay. And on our last day of filming is when Governor Newsom shut the city down.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Yes. And so we were just kind of just crazy, erratic, didn't know what to do. I was trying to get crew that didn't live in LA back home and trying to get myself back to Florida, in Orlando, Florida, where I live. And so it was a scary time. And, we just had to maneuver, do it, and we did it. And I made it back to Orlando. And of course, everything, was at a standstill during that time. And a lot of Zoom calls and meetings and stuff, trying to figure out how to continue, So it was rough in the beginning, but we've survived it so far.
Oh my gosh, but the movie came out and it was fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
A couple of my buddies are in there. Lawrence is Robertson. We actually studied under Tasha together. So
great.
Yeah. So that was a fantastic movie, by the way.
Well, thank you so much. And we are actually getting ready to do a sequel. Oh, wow. Yep. So BET Plus has greenlit a sequel for us. So we actually go into production for that next month in April.
Everyone, make sure you tune in BET Plus. This is going to be fantastic. Trust me, you have no idea what you're in store for.
Thank you. Yeah, we're real excited because it's rare that Black Christmas movies get a sequel, and so, but we have an amazing script written by Cameron Davis, and we're just really, really excited about it.
And I'm glad you even brought that up because the whole purpose of today's show is about Black women in Hollywood, but specifically Black women filmmakers in Hollywood and just the narratives that we've seen. I know for myself growing up, I always wanted to see people who could inspire me on the media outlets, on television. And I feel like I didn't get a chance to have that to the extent that I felt like we needed to portray these Black stories. You could see the thug, you could see the crack addict, you could see those things, but there's so much more in the Black experience, I feel, than what has been portrayed. And that's why I feel like, to your point, it's been amazing to be able to now have projects that are Black oriented, that are Black Christmas movies, that are showing Black professionals, Black stories that otherwise we would not be able to hear, and why it's important to have Black women filmmakers such as yourself.
I agree with you, and thank you for that, because it is important, and there has been a void over the years with good content amongst the urban community, as well as filmmakers. And when I first knew that I wanted to be a filmmaker, because I come from the music industry and I transitioned into film 8 years ago. Okay. And when I knew that, I was getting older, I didn't, music was kind of becoming a pastime of mine, I knew that I wanted to do something different, and so, I transitioned into film. But one of the first things that I knew that I wanted to do was that I wanted to tell good stories about our people, true stories, biopics, stories that our people could relate to, and not, like you said, not always the gangbanger type movies and the crime movies and all of that stuff, because we are a wealth of content alone in our race, and
Very much
so, yeah. And so that was very important to me to research and to acquire life rights to various stories, to put into development and all of that, and one of the stories that we're really excited about, that we are doing this year and going into principal photography in June, is the Hattie McDaniel biopic.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. Please tell me about what inspired you to do that story.
Well, the biopic is called Behind the Smile, and the script is written by a screenwriter by the name of Gregory Blair. Wow. Hattie McDaniel, we've always heard, over the years that people wanted to do stories on her, documentaries and all of this stuff, and nothing ever really came to fruition. And I always wondered why. And when I saw the TV series Hollywood on Netflix, and which was a decent series, but I did not agree with the way that she was portrayed in that.
Yes.
And I knew then, okay, we have got to really explore her life, her story, and let it be a teachable moment, for our people, So when I met the writer Gregory Blair, and we actually met on another biopic, that we're working on, which is the Earth, Wind, and Fire biopic. And so when we were talking, and he said, I also have the Hattie McDaniel script. I said, what? And he said, yeah. I said, oh my goodness. I said, this is definitely divine. And he actually wrote the script about 7-8 years ago, so yeah. And he had worked with some other production companies and things of that nature that didn't work out, and so we were able, to work together, and, I involved my other producing partners, and, the rest is history. We attached Raven Goodwin to play Hattie McDaniel. We're really excited about Raven. We think she is a great talent, and she deserves this opportunity to really shine and to really play a life-changing role, even for her as an actress. So we're really excited about that. Victoria Raoul has been attached as our director.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, and so we're really excited about Victoria. A lot of people don't realize that Victoria has been doing a lot of producing and a lot of directing, over the years, over the last few, especially the last 5 years. She's had a few series on the UMC channel, which is now the All Black channel. She's done a lot of, projects for Viacom, for BT, and so she is a very, very good producer and director. And so we're happy, to have her, because we were talking to some different people, and Victoria and I are friends, and, been working on some other projects together. I said, Jamie, why are you not just giving this to Victoria? Because we were sitting, racking our brains and talking to different people. And I said, wait a minute, Victoria would be perfect for this. And so my producing partner, Harel Goldstein, we called her, and she was ecstatic. She felt honored. And we just feel that she's the perfect person for it, and someone that really could work well with Raven, as well as the other talent that we're planning on bringing on.
Absolutely. And I think it's phenomenal that you were talking about a story, and I'm always a big believer of telling stories the way they need to be told. Teachable moments, like as you mentioned, are just so huge, because our next generation, they're going to need these inspirational stories to gain encouragement from. Our young Black sons, our young Black daughters. We need those inspirational stories to be able to look at someone and be like, wow, you accomplished all that through all those adversities, and you were able to overcome them.
Exactly. Exactly. And that is another reason why telling Hattie McDaniel's story is so important, because she's such a significant part to not only African American history, but to Hollywood history and film history.
Oh, absolutely.
And and a lot of people don't realize that, the African American community was really torn behind Hattie McDaniel. and because they felt that she was somewhat of a sellout, because she played a lot of the maid roles and the mammy type roles and things of that nature. But what people need to realize is in the 30s during that time, those were the only type of roles that Blacks could get.
You couldn't get anything else from
exactly, unless it was a Black filmmaker doing something, which was rare during that time. So she paved the way to open those doors for us that the younger generations have not had to fight so hard, and we owe that to her. I mean, the NAACP gave Hattie McDaniel hell, and really became a problem for her, because they just felt like she was a sellout, and she wasn't a sellout. What she was doing was paving the way for what our young Black actors, male and female, can do today.
You're right. You look at a lot of the challenges now that Black actors deal with now, nowhere near what she experienced.
Exactly.
We still have a long way to go, of course.
Yes.
But you got to give credit where credit is due, and I'm a big believer of paying homage and giving appreciation for those prior to us.
Agreed.
It's important. And that's why one of the biggest things that I in this whole equation of creating narratives, the Black filmmakers, specifically yourself, it's important to tell stories the way that they need to be told, one, and also tell them accurately.
Yes. I totally agree. That is really my priority in filmmaking, especially when it comes to true stories and biopics. We want to tell the truth of the stories. There's so many stories that the media has portrayed, on various people and stuff like that. And it's not always the full story, so it's important for us to show another side. For example, I'll take the example of Selena's TV series that's on Netflix. We have the movie that was done with Jennifer Lopez years ago, and now we have the TV series. In my honest opinion, the TV series told us more than the movie did.
I agree.
And we learned some new things about Selena that we didn't know at that time because it wasn't told properly or it was just omitted. So I commend Selena's sister, for working with Netflix and producing this TV series, because it really gave us a more of an inside look of her life, and the human side of her, which I think was very important. And so the same thing goes with us in our films, whether it's a true story or a film that's based loosely on something else. It's important that I, as a filmmaker, and my team, we stay as close to the truth as possible.
How do you think, given what you just said, how do you think moving forward we can continue to encourage other filmmakers and inspire other people to be able to tell Black stories, to continue to create that narrative of inclusivity, but also correct stories? How do you think that can play moving forward, and what kind of advice would you give people trying to be filmmakers per se?
What I always tell people that want to be filmmakers, no matter how young or how old, never give up. Okay. Study, research on your own. Learn what you can learn. I've always been a self-taught type of a person, no matter what I'm doing. I'm the youngest sibling, and I've always been the one to kind of make my mother nervous, because I would always, when I left my corporate job, 17 years ago, my mother was like, "Are you sure you're doing that? You're walking away, you're losing your benefits, you're doing this." I said, "I am my own boss."
Yes.
And I know that what I'm meant to be. And I was working a corporate job and still working in music, at the same time. So I wasn't getting any sleep. I was working 2 jobs a day. I was traveling in the evening and flying right back and traveling on the weekend. And it was very exhausting. And I knew that was not what I wanted to do. Wow. So I say all that to say, don't let people tell you what you can't do or what you should do. If you know that this is something that you want to do and you want a career in filmmaking, whether it's a film producer, whether it is being a line producer or doing makeup or casting, whatever it is that you have put your mind to, then just do it.
Yes.
And make sure that you surround yourself with good people.
Absolutely.
That can help mentor you and can help teach you, and that you can get guidance from. And you have to, I'm a very organic type of person. So I know when something feels right and when it feels wrong. And I've encountered a lot of people over the years that just were not good people, that I believed in, and people in Hollywood, with names that I believed in, I trusted, I thought I could learn something from them,
Yes.
all the while to find out they needed me more than I needed them.
Yes.
Because I had the content.
Yes.
And they were kind of just starving and still trying to maneuver and do things. So when you get involved with people like that, it can be discouraging.
Yes.
And I had some discouraging moments. I had some nights of crying and feeling like, okay, God, let me just go get a 9-to-5 job. This is not working for me. I had those type of thoughts. And the minute that I took my hands off of it and just let God handle it, the blessings overflowed and the doors open, So people should just know to just work hard at what you want, study your craft, never give up, don't let anybody tell you no, and understand that in the filmmaking business, as you and I both know, Newton, you learn new things every day.
You do.
So you have to be humble. You have to be open to learn and to be mentored and understand that things change in film from day to day, and you have to have the temperament to understand that and to learn it. And at the end of the day, just remain humble.
That's well said. Very well said. Jamie, do you have any new projects coming in that you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, we talked about Hattie McDaniel, which we're extremely excited about. I am producing a TV series with Global Genesis Group called Paradise Inc. that we will be filming this year as well. Okay. We will also be producing a TV series on Charles Cosby. Charles Cosby is the Black gentleman who was a part of Griselda Blanco's empire that a lot of people don't know about.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And a lot of people don't know that when Griselda Blanco went into the feds, that he was the one running her empire while she was there. He also was her boyfriend. But they keep him hidden, and a lot of people don't talk about it because he's African American, and so to, Colombians and stuff like that, that was a no-no, but he played a really big influential part in her life, and now, of course, he's turned his life around. He's a motivational speaker. He's written a great book. He does a lot of great things in the community, but it's important that we tell his story.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have a full slate this year, and I have a feeling that a few more things are gonna cross my desk. So, but one of my goals that, I've always had, and I remember even last year telling one of my line producers, when we were talking about our schedules, I said, my goal is always to be in post-production on one project and in pre-production on the next.
I love it.
And so it's one of those things where you have to be careful what you ask for, because now I have 3 projects in post-production and practically 4 in pre-production.
Oh my God.
So, it's a little overwhelming, but, we're getting it done. And I'm really grateful to be able to be busy, especially in the midst of this pandemic, because everybody is not in the same position, and I'm very compassionate, about people who are really, really having a hard time, and there's some days that I wake up and I complain a little bit, and then I have to put my own self in check and say, Jamie, you woke up today. You have food in your refrigerator. Your lights hasn't been cut off, during all of this, so, and there's some people that are really, really struggling. So I'm grateful for the position that I've been in. And I'm also grateful for the fact that I've been able to even help financially some other people.
Absolutely. Wow. That's, you can't beat that mind frame. That's the mind frame.
Yeah.
Jamie, where can people follow you to continue to watch all the amazing things that you're doing, including your projects and, of course, your production company?
Okay. You can follow me on Facebook under Jami Mac, JamiMac, on Instagram under Lyrical Diva 8. You also can Google Hillionaire Productions. Any press releases that come out on us and projects, we always, release them so you can see them. I'm really not big on websites. So, some people ask me, like, do you have a website? And I'm like, a lot of us don't do those anymore. Social media has really been the way to really promote and to do it. So that's what we do. So maybe I do need to get a website, but I just haven't done it, But
Instagram, social media is the website.
Yeah, and then you also can go on IMDb under Jami McCoy-Lankford and see, things that I have, in pre-production and all that stuff as well. So.
Well, Jamie, thank you so much for your time. It was such an amazing conversation. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And once again, everyone, this is my soror.
Yes.
Beta, Phi Beta Sigma, as you
can see.
Paddle in the back.
Exactly.
Representing the blue and white.
Yes. And thank you so much for having me. This has been great. I really enjoy, I get calls a lot about, doing interviews and conversational pieces with a lot of different platforms.
Yes.
And a lot of them I turn down, if they're just not, what's going to be good for my brand and my company. So I appreciate you having me because you have a great platform. I looked at some of your previous shows and all of that. And I congratulate you and your wife for what you're doing, and keep it up because you're doing a great thing. And we want to see you grow and get bigger and bigger.
That soror, that really, truly, truly means a lot to me. Especially coming from you, that
yes.
really dear to our hearts. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Everyone, this is Jami McCoy-Lankford, Hillionaire Productions. Watch everything she's doing. Trust me, you will not regret it. Newton Mayenge, the League Talk Show. Everyone, please continue to stay safe and continue to take care of yourselves, family, and friends. Talk soon.